Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. KANYAMA Hospital Cholera Center volunteers allegedly snubbed in employment. Government welcomes UCA with a call for meaningful checks and balances. Zambia's capital markets bullish amid economic challenges. In international news, Israel kills dozens in RAFAH strikes. And in sports news, MWANZA hails FIFA referee CHIKOTESHA for AFCON officiating exploits. My name is Sylvia Zulu. I will be back with the details shortly.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those that have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now the news in detail. More than 50 cholera volunteers at Lusaka's KANYAMA General Hospital have accused their supervisors of sidelining them following President Hakainde Hichilema's directive to employ all cholera center volunteers. The aggrieved volunteers have accused the UPND constituency chairperson Justin Kawe of hijacking the president's noble gesture by bringing new people as volunteers at the hospital in turn for them to get permanent jobs. One of the aggrieved volunteers, Alice Mukunta, says supervisors in recent days have been elusive, trying to frustrate her and the group for them to quit.
She is in tears as what seemed to be a lifetime opportunity is slowly slipping away. She is among more than 50 cholera volunteers who claim to have been sidelined by supervisors at KANYAMA First Level Hospital after President Hakainde Hichilema ordered their employment countrywide. The aggrieved volunteers have accused the United Party for National Development, UPND KANYAMA constituency leadership, of engaging other volunteers in haste in order to have them employed.
Ise mama coordinators vatu ba Messi banavomera kuti list banapasa ba John makana kuti list banapasa tizambela chiti so ise chametifuna tifuna batikonkereko issue because pate katonga kwati tachepa batikonkereko issue bakonkereremo bonse bantu bakazenda ukazipitamu because we deserve the jobs, we worked.
Bantu corruption kuti inkhani wayikonke chifukwa bafuna wati nyengerere bachosapo mazina yatu mu database mulibe isamene tinangena pachiyambi tina fightinga muja kolera tina fightinga kolera zona pa kolera yambosira muntu amene analinkezi kunyumba nakana kolera isitenzo chosa vitumbi I group amene muona hapa one of muzatu anadwala kolera anafuna kufa.
Speaking Monday afternoon when they stormed the office of KANYAMA constituency based UPND member When Hachombwa, the volunteers appealed to authorities to intervene in the matter as the president offered them employment.
After President Akamba, vamba kukamba kuti I'm the one who is in charge. Kupasa nchito. Mairotenze pa Chinika Secondary School. One of those people kumwamba mina ma constituency chairman kuchosa mao ya kuti ngati mufuna ndani mvotere PF. Ngati mufuna. Who makes such statements? Yeah. Nobody makes such a statement. After a president makes a decree, then umuntu amboneka kuti ni opposition kudala.
Reacting to the concerns, Mr. Chombo has assured the volunteers that they will benefit from the president's directive.
So long mwinayo I letter, za making sure with nchito mstezani mungeni. Na vera kuti no vandani, that is not necessary for now. What is key here is we challenge our colleagues in charge. The people in charge at KANYAMA First Level Hospital, we shall follow up this issue because we are interested.
But when contacted for a comment, KANYAMA constituency, UPND chairperson Justin Kawe distanced himself from the accusations.
I was not a member or part of those that were writing those names. No, not at all. I think that's one thing that we need to put straight. Not me. No. There are some leaders within sections that were writing them. That's why it's better to ask them. Maybe they are members, those that started already fighting for the cease pandemic. Not the one they're talking about. Because they may be mixing these things. For those people that were writing them, they are there. Maybe there's a different section actually where people that we claim that were left out. Oh, it's just a crime to say they want employment when they hear that.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
A Mongo-based clergyman, Lagos Pensulo, has appealed to government to expand selling points of Eagle's Millie Meal brand. Pastor Pensulo of Union Baptist Church says many citizens in the district are facing difficulties in accessing the Millie Meal. Government, through the Zambia National Service ZNS in October 2023, commenced the sale of Millie Meal to cushion citizens from surging prices of the commodity.
Western Province is one of the provinces facing a significant challenge with the high cost of commodities, particularly when it comes to the price of maize meal. In response to this issue, the government has introduced Zambia National Service Millie Meal. However, this solution has created some difficulties for the people as they have to travel long distances and wait in queues to access the commodity. During an interview with Camnet News at one of the shops, a long queue was observed and those spoken to expressed their concerns about the difficulty they face in obtaining the meal.
Kuna problem yetu nayo kumana kia kuni. Kwa nuko leka kuti. Baba na nimashia nyama ngata. Bona baleka unafuna mashia nyama kusaka kwetu. Bona pega 3 days. Ingia utanjo kuta. Amu kone moni net ni mtu kuyata hii. Kwini pega 3 days. Nisanga tefuten kuchomwa pateni ane kaba 5 kwacha. Kipe tuantale kabu. Kona kwini kona kungana meka wa mazitaja malaru. Hakuna tenichie. Kona kwini manyando wa kumana kiba kuyaba mulima chende. Ata mudata wa kumana kikuli bafahu wanuna banyani bafahu zaide kwa. Bata heba to ba nya malai mutu ali mumuleka nane kama matakati kona ku fa bana na yo wa ina malai yo wa malai wena yati eka moko to nyenke ame twalo
problem mfumanya kwa twali ba muntu na kuleka masaka 10 kapa 20 takwenda nguli mubaye mezi malai ni batu aba kitu kama batokelekana kono batu basukule kama kupi kabungata twali muleka 10 20 kono batu babangata ngata bazokobule kwali aluyi mobulozi moka pasi numuyambi kafa bwaba kutamazo ozo bali kupakera
ila ukata basi tuyemirira ngamwala ino kuzwa kusasa tutamazi bwana barubone wateni bashemi baruna basi barukorera karatwana.
Union Baptist Church is appealing to the government to extend the supply of the meal to other shops in order to help address the difficulties people are experiencing in accessing the commodity.
Situation here in Mongo. I started coming to check for Millie Meal yesterday. I found 2 trucks of loading the Millie Meal and they couldn't sell the Millie Meal. They said no, we have run out of receipts. Come tomorrow. So I went and today again I came 7:30 and this is 11 hours. I haven't bought any Millie Meal. We are seeing that the process is very slow. The Millie Meal is printed, but the sellers who are selling, they are very slow. We don't know if they are selling backdoor or we don't know how they are selling the Millie Meal. It's a very bad situation and the people here are really struggling. They need the Millie Meal and the Millie Meal is printed, but now the selling system, it's very slow.
For Camnet News, Museo Kabila, Mongo District, Western Province.
The Lusaka City Council (LCC) has implored schools in the city to adhere to the stipulated cholera preventive measures as they resume operations. The local authority says schools should put in place strict measures on the sale of food items and beverages within their premises, especially by outsiders. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba tells Camnet TV News that learners must also be encouraged to embrace mindset change of avoiding handshaking as they welcome their fellow learners back to school and to uphold high standards of hygiene. We have started our health inspections on schools in the city to check on their compliance levels on the cholera guidelines towards the response measures to the spread of the pandemic. Routine inspections of public places, including learning institutions, is a part of the long-term measure to avert the outbreak of pandemics such as cholera and COVID-19 in the city. Schools are therefore implored to adhere to the stipulated standards, such as ensuring that the learning environment is clean and safe for conducting lessons. The schools should have provision for chlorinated water for drinking. Clean sanitary accommodations is also a must, and also hand washing facilities. The learners must be encouraged to embrace mindset change of avoiding handshaking as they welcome their fellow learners back to school, and are advised to uphold high standards of hygiene. Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwetwa has implored the newly formed opposition United Kwacha Alliance, UKA, to offer meaningful solutions to government. Speaking during a press conference Monday in Lusaka, Mr. Mwetwa, who is also chief government spokesperson, said the formation of the opposition alliance is welcomed and government will not interfere in its registration. He has since expressed optimism that the opposition alliance will offer meaningful checks and balances to government. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwetwa says government has opted for quiet diplomacy on the Barotseland issue.
Monday, 12th February 2024, Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwetwa addressed the nation in a briefing that tackled numerous national issues. Among the issues addressed is the formation of the United Kwacha Alliance, where he implored the opposition pact to offer meaningful solutions to the government if they are to remain relevant. Mr. Mwetwa, who is also the chief government spokesperson, underscores that the formation of the opposition alliance is welcome and that government will not interfere in its registration in any way.
Government will not stand on the way of the United Kwacha Alliance in its formation and registration processes for as long as they meet the legal requirements of the land. We are happy with their coming together. Maybe now they can begin to consolidate some ideas which they can use as a measure for checks and balances to government. The way they have been this far, we have had a situation where literally there has been no real and reasonable opposition in this country.
This comes after a media briefing by the recently formed United Kwacha Alliance on Sunday afternoon, who in their address called on government to call for dialogue and resolve the Barotseland issue once and for all. But the minister has explained that government has opted for quiet diplomacy on the issue.
And pertaining to and in respect with the current debate over the Barotseland issue, the new Donor administration has opted for quiet diplomacy, given that government attaches great importance and respect to traditional leadership.
Meanwhile, the minister also disclosed that government has evacuated outspoken Chishimba Kambwiri to South Africa for specialized medical treatment.
We wish Mr. Chishimba Kambwiri a very swift and expeditious quick recovery. We may differ on politics, but at the end of the day we are all citizens. You know, life, you only live it once. Government Republic of Zambia has lawfully evacuated him to South Africa so that he can be attended to specialized medical treatment. Unlike what he had done to run away to go and hide in Zimbabwe.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
However, United Party for National Development UPND consultant Mark Simue has described the United Kwacha Alliance as a group of crooks who have no solutions to the country's economic and social challenges. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Simue claims that UKA Alliance is premised on selfishness and hate. He has since urged Zambians to be sober and not be shaken by the current economic misfortunes, stating that the country's situation will soon normalize.
You can see the anger in their face. They messed up the economy. Now what we are doing is to lay pipa. So muku pipa, they should not expect us to cover to pipa immediately. It is like waya wa alamvia, ero waya wa wela, you expect it to be clean. That's what they are doing. We are not going to listen to that kind of propaganda based on malice and political manipulation. These guys are hungry monsters who basically miss those ukwa bags that you are seeing. They miss them. The mukula, illegal mukula exports, they miss them. The contracts that they were awarding themselves, they miss them. And so, this is why most of them are appearing before the Financial Crimes Court, the Fast Track Court, because of how they abuse the economy. The ghost workers, 3,000 ghost workers that you used those days, they miss those opportunities. In other words, they were manufacturing names. After manufacturing names of people that they don't exist, they will pretend they have paid and the individuals have signed. Those are ghost workers. That is basically theft. So, that opportunity will not be given to them again. They should forget. The country was in a mess. The country stopped recruiting. We are recruiting. There is free education which they could not provide. They thought it was impossible. It has been done. And so, the country is back on track. Zambia in the region is highly respected now. Not the way it used to be.
Government has implored the newly recruited teachers to avoid falling into a debt crisis. Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana says falling into unnecessary debt would demotivate the teachers. Speaking this morning when he paid a courtesy call on Kitwe District Education Board Secretary Christopher Nyungula, who was welcoming the newly recruited teachers, Mr. Kawana implored the teachers to obtain loans only when the situation is necessary. Meanwhile, Kitwe District Education Board Secretary Christopher Nyungula implores the newly recruited teachers to supplement the free education policy by respecting government policies and teaching the learners effectively. And Faustina Kaluka, a newly recruited teacher, thanked government for recruiting her as a teacher without her knowing anyone.
Malone. Loans will demotivate you because you begin to feel like you are getting peanuts because you got a loan. So avoid. Only get a loan when it is absolutely necessary. Don't get a loan because you can. It will be cut. Then when you cut, and you see for us as civil servants, you get a loan here, a loan there, a loan there. You go home, you have nothing. Then now you get demotivated. You stop going for work because you feel there's nothing you're doing. So stay away from unnecessary appetite for loans. Work and you enjoy your salary at the end of the month. Because this government will pay you every month. There are no stories of people not being pushed.
Go and teach and go and supplement on what government has brought on board. And you should also go and respect government policies. Don't go there and say, go and bring 200 kwacha for Cobra. So the sector is a sector where we have a bigger picture as a teacher to deliver to our children. Sir, it is only where you have a good leader where you find free education from early childhood up to grade 7. I mean up to grade 4. building the future of the country.
I'm so happy because I know nobody. I just applied, and I'm very happy to the government of the day because he has made it possible. I wasn't expecting that I was going to be picked, but by grace, and he has created opportunities for us teachers, especially in the education sector, of which we are so grateful, and my fellow teachers here are all happy. We are so excited.
The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, says Zambia's capital market continued to show resilience during the last quarter of 2023, as evidenced by increase in market indicators. SEC Acting Chief Executive Officer Diana Sichone says among the increased market indicators is the market capitalization and the Luce All-Share Index. Speaking during a press conference Monday on the performance of the capital market for the fourth quarter of 2023, Mrs. Sichone said the All-Share Index went up by 16.2%, closing at 10,828.18 points. Meanwhile, SEC Director Market Supervision and Development, Nonde Sichilima, says the Commission is targeting to get Zambia an investment rating by 2031, which is currently non-existent, to improve the country's investment profile.
What we hope to see by the time we are done with this plan is real tangible results that we can be able to point out to. The most notable one is the number of listings. We hope to see our capital markets grow. We hope to see our collective investment schemes grow to about 260 million. We hope to have a rating for the country. I don't know if you've heard about frontier ratings and so on. So Zambia currently doesn't have a rating that signals to investors out there what sort of investment grade country it is. So we hope to have a rating as an emerging country.
The Lusaka All-Share Index showed notable growth, driven by increased stock prices. The CIS sector experienced growth with a significant rise in domestic and foreign assets under management. Corporate bonds showed resilience with a 38% increase in quarter 4 of 2023 compared with quarter 3. Green finance initiatives, including the registration of a debut 200 million green bond by CEC Renewables, were positive.
The Center for Trade Policy and Development, CTPD, has called on government to give an update on the performance of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF loans and grants. CTPD Executive Director Isaac Mwaipopo observes that the government has continued to allocate funds from the Treasury to CDF accounts without updating the public on the outcomes and balances of the accounts. Mr. Mwaipopo adds that the CDF loans are intended to be a revolving fund. As such, it is necessary for citizens to be updated on the progress of repayments.
Parliament resumes sitting. From the Center for Trade Policy and Development, we are looking forward to the tabling of regulations that are speaking to the management or governance of CTF, which is the Constituency Development Fund. It would be very important to see some of the key provisions that are contained in the piece of legislation that is governing CDF, as this is an initiative that seeks to actualize Zambia's intent or ambitions towards decentralization. The other piece of legislation that we are looking forward to being tabled on the floor of Parliament is the Minerals Commission bill, and it is our expectation that the members of Parliament would debate the depth of the document, so that ultimately we can have a clear sense of understanding in terms of what the Minerals Commission will be coming to do once fully established. It is very important because mining continues to be the backbone of the Zambian economy, and it is very important that adequate measures, policies, regulations are put in place so as to safeguard Zambia's interest when it comes to extractive activities that are happening, especially now that we have the energy transition that is at hand. It will be very important that Zambia adequately prepares itself by putting in place the correct measures, laws, so as to ensure that we derive maximum benefits from the resources that we are endowed with as a country.
Trial has failed to take off at the Lusaka Magistrate Court in a matter in which former Patriotic Front PF Secretary General Davis Mwila is accused of being in possession of funds valued at over 102 million kwacha, property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. The charge is in relation to the 2021 election campaign funds. However, when the matter came up for continuation of trial, Magistrate Fine Mayumbu adjourned it to February 25, 2024 on grounds that Mr. Davis Chumbwili, magistrate handling the matter, is unavailable. In this matter, Mr. Mwila, 59, is jointly charged with Anna Mwitwa, a lawyer. The two have pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime and failure to report suspicious transactions contrary to the laws of Zambia. Earlier, Mr. Mwila complained before the court, stating that the state prosecuting the matter are not serious and have continued to give excuses each time the matter comes up in court. Now, Opposition Patriots for Economic Progress, PEP President Sean Tembo has argued that the Constitutional Court has jurisdiction to hear matters concerning President Hakainde Hichilema's performance on his executive functions. This is in a matter in which Tembo wants a declaration that President Hichilema's utterance of the Bemba word "ukuponoka" is low standards and contravenes Article 92, Clause 1 of the Constitution of Zambia.
Opposition Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo has set aside his social media postings and filed before the Constitutional Court that the court has the power to hear matter concerning President Hakainde Hichilema's performance of his executive functions with dignity and integrity. The opposition leader is seeking a declaration that President Hichilema's utterances of the Bemba word "ukuponoka" is a low standard, lacks dignity, leadership and integrity, and contravenes Article 92, subsection 1 of the Constitution of Zambia. Mr. Tembo demands that the Bemba word lacks decency and respect for the Zambian people and of the diversity of different communities of Northern Province. But in responding, the state through the Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesh, has advised the court to dismiss the matter and extend the time being channeled to it to deserving matters, explaining that there is no contravention of the Constitution by President Hakainde Hichilema. However, in an affidavit in opposition to the respondent's affidavit in support of notice of motion to raise preliminary issues, the opposition leader submits that his actions are neither frivolous nor vexatious. Mr. Tembo states that he raised constitutional issues for determination which fell under the Constitutional Court, and contends that the issues raised are fit for trial, and praised that the concerns by the Attorney General in the preliminary issue context be dismissed with costs to him. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
You're watching the main news. We now take our first break.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren Bay. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 04 9213. Darren B, a touch of class.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll now continue with more news. The Federation of Free Trade Unions of Zambia, FFTUZ, has called on government to quickly resolve issues at Konkola Copper Mines, KCM. Federation Secretary General Nelson Mwale notes with regret that a number of workers under KCM have been sent on forced leave. Mr. Mwale says the delay in resolving the Vedata issue has negatively impacted the workers.
We regret the alleged forced leaves where a number of workers under Konkola Copper Mine have been sent on forced leave. This is to do with the Njanga, Nampundwe, and indeed the Chilawombwe and the many other places. The issue of Vedanta and the Konkola Copper Mine must be resolved and resolved amicably and expeditiously, because you realize that any delay in resolving these issues, people are being sent on forced leave in the name of them, having leave days that have not been completed, and yet people are being sent on forced leave. Eventually, others may be laid off. So we are calling upon the government of His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema to resolve the issue surrounding Vedanta. We are told to say Vedanta has come with huge sums of money that they want to inject. And so can it be done as quickly as possible? Because as we are talking about production now, the 600,000 metric tons per annum that has been projected may not be achieved because of the said, laying off of workers in the mines.
Government says it remains committed to supporting the activities of the Zambia Institute of Marketing as it is key stakeholder in selling the country. Speaking when she officiated at the 27th Annual Marketing Conference and Awards Ceremony in Lusaka, Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry Permanent Secretary Lillian Bwalia said with the coming of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the country will need a lot of marketing. She says in this regard, ZIM is a key stakeholder in order to attain sustainable results.
The Zambia Institute of Marketing has announced that the 27th Annual Marketing Conference and Awards Gala Dinner will be held from the 22nd to the 24th of May 2024 in Livingstone. This year's conference will be held under the theme Elevate, Innovate, Thrive, driving prosperity, growth and resilience through strategic insights. This is intended to equip participants with tools and insights they need to navigate the dynamic current and achieve business success. Speaking during the 27th Annual Marketing Conference Awards ceremony media launch in Lusaka, Ministry of Commerce Permanent Secretary Lillian Bwalya said government remains committed to supporting activities of ZIM.
Currently, we have a number of projects and programs that we would like you as marketers to take keen interest. There's the issue of promoting Zambia as a tourist destination. The issue of customer care is very key. There's the issue of ensuring that we promote the smooth flow of trade, and the issue of customer care there is very important. So we'd like you to pick up pieces in all these aspects of the economy and see how we can work together to make sure that we are giving the right customer service to our clients. It doesn't matter who we are servicing, we are promoting this country, and we'd like to make sure that we elevate Zambia on the African map. As we move into the continental free trade area, how we market ourselves is very important.
And speaking at the same event, ZIM President MWANZA stated that the conference objective is not only to support Zambian businesses in embracing innovation and strategic thinking, but also to assist them in evolving and becoming pioneers of strategic transformation.
Our intention is to not just support Zambia's businesses to embrace innovation and strategic thinking, but also to support them as they seek to evolve and be pioneers in strategic transformation. Further, the conference will delve into key areas of sustainability and how we can reduce the carbon footprint, leveraging digital marketing, building and sustaining brands, leveraging data in building lasting customer experiences and customer journey.
And ZIM CEO Lutemwelo says the institute has lined up some of the best resource persons from different walks of life who are eminent persons in their areas that will be discussing at the conference.
Some of the conference topics will deliberately be centered around the latest trends and technologies shaping the future of marketing. To thrive in today's fast-paced business environment, one requires resilience, the ability to withstand difficult times and persevere in the face of adversities.
The annual marketing conference and award gala dinner provides an opportunity for marketing experts to gain insights into industry trends, networking with other professionals, and learn from the industry leaders. Mako Kwakozi reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
The Advocates for National Development and Democracy, ANDD, says it is saddened by the increase in the basic needs and nutrition basket as reviewed by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR. The organization has since called on President Hakainde Hichilema to ensure that his administration reduces the cost of living as well as cost of doing business in the country. The cost of living for a family of 5 in Lusaka, according to JCTR, has increased by 398 kwacha 12 ngwe from 9,157 kwacha 41 ngwe in December 2023 to 9,555 kwacha 53 ngwe in January 2024. ANDD Executive Director Samuel Banda says this development would therefore exacerbate the prevailing harsh living conditions because most Zambians cannot cope with the increase in basic commodities.
We are saddened by the rising cost of living as reviewed by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection. We want to say that this is sad development because we know that the majority Zambians are failing to cope with the increase in prices of basic commodities and living. Zambians find it difficult to purchase basic commodities such as mealie meal, sugar, salt, and other basic commodities. We cannot continue moving on this trajectory. Zambians are suffering, and we believe that they voted for UPND government based on a premise that they will reduce the cost of doing business, the cost of living, and improve the living standards of Zambians. As NDD, we attribute the increase in prices of basic commodities and living to rapid depreciation of the kwacha, low copper production output and the export volumes, a lack of employment among citizens, and high cost of doing business. We therefore wish to advise President Hakainde Hichilema to stabilize the exchange rate, because we believe that Zambia, being an import-driven country, once we stabilize the exchange rate, the price of basic commodities can be reduced, because we believe that the cost of doing business will definitely come down. Our recommendation to the UPND government, to President Hakainde Hichilema's government, is that revamp the mining sector, because we believe our major forex earner is copper. We have to increase export volumes of copper for us to generate huge forex to stabilize our kwacha and reduce the cost of doing business, which will consequently lead to reduce cost of living.
We now take our final set of commercials. Do join me with the rest of the news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration, or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
And now for the rest of the news. In foreign news, Israel has carried out airstrikes in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, killing dozens, according to health officials, as Palestinians brace for a major offensive on the densely crowded urban area. There were conflicting reports of the death toll following the prudent strikes on Monday. The AFP news agency reported that the strikes killed 52 people. Reuters reported that at least 67 had been killed. Both outlets quoted health officials in Gaza. The Israel strikes hit 14 houses and 3 mosques in Rafah, according to Palestinian officials. However, Al Jazeera Arabic colleagues have reported that at least 63 people were killed in the strikes on the mosques. A press statement from Hamas stated that more than 100 had been killed in the city. Here's a roundup of international news.
Yet another sleepless night for Palestinians in Rafah, with ambulance crews going to the aid of more wounded children. Nurses at the Kuwait hospital stitched up this child's head wound.
كنت نايم؟ أنا ما شفتهاش. كنت نايم؟ صحوك من النوم؟ أنا تنام بأمان الله وهياك. خرجت علي غابرة وصوت الصاروخ سمعت الصاروخ؟ وهو بينزل. كان عالي؟
The latest Israeli attacks killed and injured dozens of Palestinians. Rafah in southern Gaza is under relentless bombardment before a potential ground offensive. Rafah was previously considered a so-called safe zone.
Israel fears for its captives, kills our children, their lives and their future, and takes away our freedom. No one on earth with a clear conscience can bear the scenes of murdered children today.
Israel announced the rescue of 2 captives in a raid in Rafah. The Israeli army says both rescued men are in good health. They've been identified as 60-year-old Fernando Marman and 70-year-old Louis Har. Prime Minister Netanyahu has tasked army commanders to focus on Rafah, where more than 1.4 million displaced Palestinians are sheltering. Elsewhere in Gaza, at least 15 people were killed in the bombing of a house in Deir el-Balah.
We were bombed in Gaza City and were displaced to the Zawaida area and then to Deir el-Balah. We are civilians, and we say to Israel, we are steadfast here, and the Arab countries must look up and have mercy on us.
Across the Gaza Strip, Palestinians are looking for signs of life under the rubble after the latest Israeli assault.
Kenyan athletes have reacted with shock to the news of world marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum's death on Sunday. The 24-year-old was killed in a one-car road accident alongside his coach. Another female passenger was rushed to hospital.
It's a sad morning to be here to hear about the tragic accident that has happened. Personally, when I was called, I didn't believe until I arrived here. So I witnessed and I saw for myself. I want to say it's really sad because we didn't expect this one. I want to say sorry to the family, the athletics fraternity, and the entire country. May God comfort us at this trying moment, because I can say for sure we are still in denial.
The crash occurred in the heart of the high-altitude region in western Kenya that's renowned as a training base for top distance runners from Kenya and across the world. A number of athletes were at the hospital mortuary where the bodies were taken.
We have all known Kiptum as our best, and even he was in our team for the Olympics. So we are just in this world as we are nothing. I can just say, pole to everyone, pole to the family.
Kiptum was born and raised in the area, and his family members were also at the hospital to identify his body.
In sports news, soccer analyst Yota MWANZA has hailed FIFA referee Diana Chikotesha for officiating in the Africa Cup Nations final between Ivory Coast and Nigeria. Chikotesha was the second assistant referee in Sunday's 2023 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations AFCON after being part of the VAR team for the most part of the tournament. Speaking in an interview, MWANZA says Chikotesha has set yet another good tone for Zambian referees, which will motivate others to take up the career. Meanwhile, MWANZA has urged the Football Association of Zambia FAS to keep Chipolopolo coach Avram Grant as the country prepares for the 2024 AFCON.
Diana Chikotesha, the assistant referee, she did a commendable job. Look, in the final, she was the second assistant referee. Before that, she was into the VAR room, and she did a commendable job. I think Zambia is proud of her and her achievements. Most Zambians must be able to look to her and be able to pick up, the job of refereeing, so that they can be able to do commendable job. Now is the moment, as we get into the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, that the Zambian national team must be able to prepare well. We've got a basis in terms of a team. We saw what the boys can be able to do. I think we can, if we nurture this team that went to the Africa Cup of Nations, then it should be able to give us glory in 2025. We urge the Zambian FA, to stick to the coach, Avram Grant, to be able to look, to stick to the boys, to the core of the team, and be able to bring in others that are doing well at club levels.
That's it for our news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. KANYAMA Hospital Cholera Center volunteers allegedly snubbed in employment. Government welcomes UCA with a call for meaningful checks and balances. Zambia's capital markets bullish amid economic challenges. In international news, Israel kills dozens in Rafah strikes. And in sports news, MWANZA hails FIFA referee Chikotesha for AFCON officiating exploits. Our verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13. Meanwhile, these three remain: faith, love, and hope. And the greatest of these is love. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night.